Today's Words of Wisdom, Spirituality Shines in Adversity, will be presented in Gaelic and English, with subtitles in Arabic, Aulacese or Vietnamese, Chinese, Dutch, English, French, German, Hebrew, Hindi, Hungarian, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Mongolian, Persian, Polish, Portuguese, Punjabi, Romanian, Russian, Thai, Turkish, Urdu and Spanish. Ahnither mar cheer na neve scolari, miantas agus fin scéla is cheer I era. A bhfuil flúirseach, dóireacht, spirituálta agus áireacht isreacht. Tá cultúr cuimhnithe lán de bhéal ides agus ceol, sanúil ag an dír ursa seo lena phréamhacha Celteach Láidir agus áireacht nádúra Garab. Cóthaíonn range de sean córtha, caite mistúla mar Newgrange, túma neolític séim mbliana d'aois, a seasa fós go dtí an lá inniu. Tugtar freisin Ilan itlas éireann, de dhéisce an tíreacht, flúirseacht méid las fud na cnic, agus tlanta rólta. Le hiisce gan tevel, agus imilmhór mór haibhseach is tasca dúil flúirse na héireann, chun bhaidh miúrna agus cibhnathe. Le nine Críosaíocht is ahananta agus gal iad námh na héireann, a raibh ról tabhachtach acu in acórú na Críosaíocht I rith na man ísna an tríú tíis go dtí an seachtú tíis. Dóg manic mar néamh Columbanus, oilreacht nágaracht go bhunú go dtí céad manistracht fud na Europa, ón Frank go dtí Idal. San ann nua amsrathe is sin léanaan éire a oilreacht amhra scéalta dubhna bheith an céad tír domhan cos tabhac a caitheamh a thabhairt isteach fud na tíre I ngach áit phoblí. Leanann imní na héireann chun cían de lás na déganna inniu le daoine cáilúla mar Bono agus U2 agus Tim Antas díghreasaíocht Bob Geldof chun cuidiú le daoine níos lua ábhail I tíre an trí domhan. Mar náisiún aithnítear éire fud an domhan as a bhíogach, cúgach agus cur cuid cordúil do cóide agus strandséirí aréin. Le linn di túras leacht na Europa I 1999 tlach uachtarácht Meastar Tsinghai go cineálta an cúireacht ó daoine gairí inras. Cuairt a thabhairt bhaile áit clia éire. Agus dá bhrí sin tugamid cuairt duit anois chun éisteach leis an leachta seo a leanas a tugtar an 7 lá de meitheamh 1999 mar títal Spirituality Shines in Adversities.
Supreme Master Tsinghai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Yeah, no, you keep saying the Bible all the time, like about Christ, like, I mean, what about, say, different religions? Like, I'm the same man, I travel the world. I've met Hindus, I've met Buddhists, I've met Muslims. Do you not think it's all the one?
They point to one God. They just use different terms. That's why it confuses us.
And I'm inclined to think
Yes.
that really it's
I know
people
that.
themselves.
Yes, people make the difference with their brains,
Yeah.
not with their soul. That's why. You see, we have two parts in us. One part is God, which is the soul, part of God. Another part is it's a computer, the brain. The brain that makes trouble. It takes in all the information and it puts out the same, regardless the flexibility of the different situation.
Dear Master, what is the true form of prayer and how can we attain to it?
The true form of prayers is when we become one with God, that when His will becomes our will. Whatever God tells us to do, we do it. And that's the truest form of prayers. And we can only attain this stage when we go inside and let God Himself teach us day by day of the way of heaven. Okay?
Dear Master, does alcohol slow down the spiritual path?
It even slow down your life, slow down your job, slow down a lot of things. Yes, whenever you touch alcohol, you really want to live shorter than you should. That's the way it is. The body is not suitable for this kind of strong intoxication. And it damages the nerves, it dulls the intelligence, it shortens the lifespan. So it's up to you to choose to live dangerously or to live quietly. Okay? There's so many temptations. It's difficult to resist. But if you would like to live a more healthy life and a more active life, more productive life, then it is better to refrain from alcohol.
Benefits of alcohol bans.
Stroke risk reduced by 50% by quitting smoking and restricting alcohol consumption, along with more exercise and higher fruit and vegetable intake. Researchers in Spain find that alcohol-free beer reduces cholesterol levels, along with other potential heart benefits, without any of the risks associated with alcohol consumption.
Financial savings. A Canadian study estimates alcohol intervention programs could save 880 lives and $1 billion every year.
Mortality. A 10% decline in vodka sales resulted in a significant decrease in alcohol-related deaths in Russia in 1 year. Exercising, drinking less alcohol, eating fruits and vegetables, and not smoking extends life expectancy by 14 years.
Cancer. A World Cancer Research Fund study finds reducing meat and alcohol consumption decreases cancer risk.
Other illnesses. The brain's regeneration and performance are increased once alcohol consumption ceases. Alcoholic hepatitis patients can gain complete recovery if the patient gives up alcohol and has a good diet. Bodybuilding.com states that bodybuilders who refrain from alcohol consumption experience benefits in terms of muscle gain, hydration, recovery, metabolism, and mental focus.
Social implications. A New Zealand liquor ban resulted in 98% less liquor offenses, as well as a reduction in other crimes. Research in New Mexico, USA shows that Sunday bans on alcohol sales resulted in fewer collisions and traffic casualties. Alcohol-related crimes dropped by 15% following an alcohol ban in Aberystwyth, UK. An alcohol ban becomes permanent on the jetty area of Coffs Harbour City, Australia, due to its success in reducing crime.
Youth. In the U.S. state of Florida, raising the legal drinking age from 18 to 21 significantly reduced auto accident-related fatalities. A voluntary ban of alcohol sales to youth under 21 in the UK's Marske Village is made permanent as crime and antisocial behavior is reduced. An alcohol ban in U.S. colleges helps overall alcohol abstention and reduces bouts of drunkenness and secondhand effects of drinking.
Plus more.
Dear Master, why must we exist? Just existing takes up so much energy. What's our purpose?
Yeah. I was wondering myself until I found God. Then He tells me everything. Why don't you find God also? And then God will answer you what the purpose of our life. He will tell you what is your mission. And then you will just walk your way without any problem.
Are human beings the only species with souls?
Human beings are not the only species with souls. Yeah? There are many more.
If there is no reincarnation, Is there ever an eternal?
No. No such thing as eternal hell. It would be a very, 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 very terrible, cruel God who makes eternal hell. Can you think of the logic? Whatever we do, doesn't matter how bad, how terrible, it's short-lived, it's temporary. How can it be measured by eternal hell? How can a God who is so just even measure such an eternal punishment for limited actions, however bad it is? Right? Okay.
Dear Master, can meditation lift depression and fear?
Yes, of course. When God comes, everything that is ungodly will disappear. If not immediately, then in time. And very quickly. Yes.
Dear Master, why does God love us?
Why not? Are you having so much a terrible complexity that you feel you are unworthy of God's love? The Father always loves His child. Yeah? He is our Father. Of course He loves us. There's no question about that.
Dear Master, what happens to us after death?
That's a long answer. Okay. What happens, it depends on how we live our life. You see, the God within us is the one who decides where we go after we die. You have three choices. At the time of death, normally we will be greeted and surrounded by enlightened beings such as angels, past master, Christ, Buddha, or whomever, yes, because they're all together, they are sons of God. But then, depends on our consciousness at that time, our conscience also. If we think that we did all terribly things in life, then our conscience will blind us from this possibility of communicating with these light beings. And we will think that we deserve some punishment. So we sink into a lower level of consciousness. Maybe you call that hell. And if we do all the right things in life, then our conscience will allow us to ascend into a better place, which is called heaven. But heaven has many also levels. If we are like normally good, then we are in a normally heaven. If we are extraordinarily good, we are in a higher heaven. If we are completely enlightened, like Jesus, Buddha, we go where God is. So these are three choices at the time of death. We make this choice already while we are living by acting out what we want to be. If we want to be God-like, then we act like loving person, compassionate, giving, understanding, forgiving, and holy, etc. If we want to act on the contrary to God, then maybe we do not follow the 10 Commandments. We try to do everything that is contrary to the teaching of Jesus, for example. Then at the time of death, the habit thinking that we would think in that way. And so this thinking will not allow us to go into a higher heaven. And if, by the way, we practice enlightenment, we see the light of God every day, then of course we go where the light goes. That's where God is. Okay?
Dear Master, I believe in the light and sound. Do you consider that Christ was the only Son of God?
Christ is the only Son of God. Because Christ is not a person. Christ is a power that emanates from God, who creates the universe, also who can bring the creation back to Him. And Christ, this power, at that time, has manifested fully in the person of Jesus. So we call Him Jesus Christ. That means Master Jesus. Just like we call Him Buddha Gautama, means Master Gautama. Buddha, Christ are the same name for this extraordinary, only one power which we can say the only Son of God. So this Son of God, this only power, can choose to manifest any time on this planet or any planet in order to save mankind or other beings and bring them back to the Father when they are ready.
Dear Master, if you feel you do not deserve to feel God within you, is there a way of getting beyond this fear?
Well, I don't know why you fear such thing. It is very, very unnatural that we fear the Father. You know that? We should fear when we do wrong things. We should fear when we are lonely without God. But we should never fear when we are having the opportunity to see God. So please overcome that. Just do whatever your heart tells you and not the brain tells you. The brain is a terrible thing.
Dear Master, you talk about the inner melody that can heal all wounds. What does this melody sound like?
It sounds almost like outside instruments sometimes. For example, if you hear the bagpipe, the Scottish bagpipe, the harp, the flute, they also resemble the inner sound. Except that the outer sound can relieve us to some extent our stress and sorrow for a temporary period. Sometimes it doesn't, but the inner sound, the inner melody of heaven will continuously play in 24 hours once we open our spiritual ear, so-called spiritual ear. We can hear it all the time, and it heals our wounds, and it will teach us all the wisdom of the universe. Whereas the outer music can only make us happy, temporarily, but does not teach us any wiser things, and do not change ourselves to become a more intelligent or more loving or more compassionate person. So the inner music will do all that. Yes?
Dear Master, I believe that fear and darkness do not exist. They are only the absence of love and light. But yes. A blessing ignored can become a curse. So how can I bless people with my understanding without putting them at risk?
Everyone has to come to the decision to find God by himself. We have no way of persuading people except to show them the logic and reasons, and they decide. Yeah? So if God bless you with understanding, you keep it. Most of the time, when we say to people about our own experience, we get humiliated and suspicion. And that's the way they kill Jesus. So actually, I also myself advise our brothers and sisters to keep quiet and don't talk too much about the experience of heaven. But nevertheless, as I'm doing my job, I have to tell you some of it. The things I tell you are just a fraction of what I know, and just a fraction of what you will know and you will experience. I just say just a little bit only, and you already think it's not possible. So wait until you know what I know. So most of the time, such understanding like yours or such a blessed with inner vision, we keep quiet. Unless God order us to tell, then we do it.
I'm glad to read that you are a vegetarian. Can you explain why it is important in life to be vegetarian?
Why it is important, yes. It is important because we and all lives in this planet are linked together by an invisible chain. And if one piece of the chain broken, things go wrong. And because it is invisible, we do not know. Otherwise, how do we explain all these disasters or the killing or the war in this planet? When you go inside and meditate on God, He will show you that compassion is very important. And compassion extends to all beings as well, even animals. Then you will know how important it is. In the Bible, God has said that He makes man and make all the herbs in the field and all the vegetable for us as our food. And then He said, then I make animals also to befriend you, to help you, and you will rule over animals. But He did not mention that we should eat them.
Vegetarianism in religion.
The Baha'i Faith. Regarding the eating of animal flesh and abstinence therefrom, know thou of a certainty that, in the beginning of creation, God determined the food of every living being, and to eat contrary to that determination is not approved. Selections from the Baha'i writings of some aspects of health and healing.
Buddhism. All meats eaten by living beings are of their own relatives. Lankavatara Sutra. Also, after the birth of the baby, care must be exercised not to kill any animal in order to feed the mother with meaty delicacies, and not to assemble many relatives to drink liquor or to eat meat, because at the difficult time of birth, there are innumerable evil demons, monsters, and goblins who want to consume the smelly blood. By ignorantly and adversely resorting to the killing of animals for consumption, they bring down curses upon themselves, which are detrimental to both the mother and the baby. Ksiti Sutra. Be careful during the days immediately after someone's death, not killing or destroying, or creating evil karma by worshipping or offering sacrifice to demons and deities, because such killing and slaughtering committed, or such worship performed, or such sacrifice offered, would not have even an iota of force to benefit the dead, but would entwine even more sinful karma into previous karma, making it even deeper and more serious. Thus, delay his rebirth to a good state. Karma means retribution. Ksiti Sutra.
Gaudai. The most important thing is to stop killing, because animals also have souls and understand like humans. If we kill and eat them, then we owe them a blood debt. Teachings of the Saints.
Christianity. Meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but God shall destroy both it and them. Holy Bible.
And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a very great plague. Holy Bible.
Confucianism. All men have a mind which cannot bear to see the sufferings of others. The superior man, having seen the animals alive, cannot bear to see them die. Having heard their dying cries, he cannot bear to eat their flesh. Mencius. Essenes.
I am come to end the sacrifices and feasts of blood, and if ye cease not offering and eating of flesh and blood, the wrath of God shall not cease from you. Gospel of the Holy 12.
Hinduism. Since you cannot bring killed animals back to life, you are responsible for killing them. Therefore, you are going to hell. There is no way for your deliverance. Adalila.
He who desires to augment his own flesh by eating the flesh of other creatures lives in misery in whatever species he may take his birth. Mahabharata anew.
Islam. Allah will not give mercy to anyone except those who give mercy to other creatures. Hadith.
Do not allow your stomachs to become graveyards of animals. Hadith.
Jainism. A true monk should not accept such food and drink as has been specially prepared for him involving the slaughter of living beings. Sutrakatanga.
Judaism. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people. Holy Bible. Blood meaning flesh.
Sikhism. Those mortals who consume marijuana, flesh, and wine, no matter what pilgrimages, fasts, and rituals they follow, they will all go to hell. Guru Granth Sahib.
Taoism. Do not go into the mountain to catch birds and nets, nor to the water to poison fishes and minnows. Do not butcher the ox that plows your field. Tract of the Quiet Way.
Tibetan Buddhism. The offering to the deities of meat obtained by killing animate beings is like offering a mother the flesh of her own child, and this is a grievous failure, the supreme path of discipleship.
Zoroastrianism. Those plants, I, Ahura Mazda, or God, rain down upon the earth to bring food to the faithful and fodder to the beneficent cow. Avesta.
Everybody knows that vegetarian diet is good for health and to save the planet. They will be awakening their own great, compassionate, loving self-nature, and then their level of consciousness will rise up automatically, and they will understand more than they ever did, and they'll be closer to heaven than what they are right now.
Dear Master, is it possible to see Krishna, Jesus, and Buddha simultaneously? Or is it better to desire the vision of one Divine Master?
Yes, it's possible to see them simultaneously. Some of our brothers, sisters do. But sometimes God plays jokes. Like the Buddhists will see Jesus, and the Christians see Buddha. Yes, just for fun. Then to let them know that they are working with God and they are one God.
Dear Master, is there any purpose for reincarnation?
Yes, if the soul decide that he want to come back here for some special reason, to sample more experience on the planet, or to help somebody that he loved and he has not finished in this lifetime. But rarely the person has to reincarnate in the same place again, because there are many other places to be reincarnated into. Yeah.
Master, what is the truth?
The truth cannot be just spoken in language. It has to be experienced by yourself. The truth is God. And the truth will make you know God. The truth will teach you that you are one with God.
Dear Master, is heaven reached through sensitivity or through logic?
Through going there yourself. It's not by talking, not by reasoning, but by actual seeing heaven in your inner vision that you know heaven.
Dear Master, is all suffering and disease our own free will, or does God play some part in it?
It's our own free will. Yes, when we do something that is not suitable for the body, then of course the body gets sick. Yeah. For example, if we smoke too much and we sometimes get lung problem, and the person who sits next to us also have secondhand smoke problem. For example, me, secondhand smoke victim. And if we drink too much alcohol, then you get drunk, and hangover, headache, and maybe some other complication concerning alcohol consumption. Things like that, yeah? And there's other things that we do unconsciously, which will also affect the body, and it busts out in sickness. All these things can be remedied by turning to God again and let Him heal our shortcomings.
Some of the tragic tolls of tobacco, 5.4 million smoking-related deaths per year worldwide, cost of smoking-related illnesses, $96 billion in the United States alone. Light and mild cigarettes just as harmful, causes cancer and diseases in animal companions. Speeds the aging process, toxic residues of third-hand smoke. Heart disease, coronary thrombosis, cerebral thrombosis, kidney failure. Cancer, lung cancer, esophagus cancer, kidneys cancer, bladder cancer. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, emphysema, bronchitis, stroke, impotence, additional harms for secondhand smoking, childhood arteriosclerosis leading to heart attacks and strokes in adulthood, sudden infant death syndrome, infertility, miscarriages and premature deliveries, childhood asthma, bronchitis, ear infection, cleft lip or palate, hyperactivity and aggression in asthmatic boys, circulatory problems in women, plus more.
Some of the tragic tolls of alcohol. 2.3 million alcohol-related deaths per year worldwide. Cost of alcohol-related illnesses. $186.4 billion in the United States. Up to $210 to $665 billion globally.
Disease. Higher amounts of alcohol increase the cancer risk. Even half a glass of wine daily increases the risk of mouth or throat cancer by 168%. Cancer of the liver, breast, colon, esophagus, rectum. Liver disease. Cardiovascular disease. Metal toxicity. Brain damage. Amnesia and dementia. Brain shrinkage.
Organ failure. Heart, liver, kidneys, stomach, pancreas, eyes.
Birth defects, mental retardation, fetal alcohol syndrome, stunted growth, facial deformity, sudden infant death syndrome, miscarriage.
Alcohol-related violence. Child abuse, 50% of cases. Violence toward loved ones, 30% of cases. Violent acts, 40 to 80% of cases. Suicides, 20 to 50% of cases. Plus more.
For more urgent information, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/killers.
Master, I believe God's Spirit and love is in us all. And I also believe His love and light also shines through our animals. Do you believe this?
Of course I believe it. I see it.
Dear Master, it's very unusual for someone to give of their time and experience without reward. Thank you for taking time out on a busy weekend to share your enlightenment. Remember me, my family, and a special needs group in your prayers.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Dear Master, you said that God can lift depression and fear. How can one who is suffering from depression and fear be healed?
Yes, by come to God again. By come to the God inside you. We suffer a lot, all of us, in different way. We have different fears because we have lost touch with the Father, which is the source of all blessing, all power, and all security. So by coming back home, we will have everything we need. But this is not by talking that I can make you understand. By your own experience that you will know this. So I invite you to come to God again and let me help you to see Him. And later you will be always with Him. You don't need me no more. I'm here only for today. Yeah? And then I leave you with God. No problem. So if you ask me thousands more questions, it will just help you intellectually. It doesn't heal your real suffering. Only God can.
Dear Master, what is the meaning of our life in this world, if any?
We come here so that we can know God. That's the only meaning of human's life. Many of us forgotten. That's why we suffer. Yeah.
Dear Master, can I achieve salvation by following the teachings of Jesus? If so, why do I need another teacher?
If you understand all what Jesus has said to you and you practice it, then you get salvation. I'm afraid the levels of enlightenment of the Lord Jesus sometimes too high for us. So unless you get enlightened yourself, You cannot understand all that the Master wants to teach us. I'm here to offer you the way so that you can understand his teaching deeper and have the real practical side of his teaching and bring the healing and love into your life. Just the words of Jesus, and if we don't understand completely, it is difficult to get true salvation. Although, if you keep the 10 Commandments and you be a good man, you will enter heaven, but this temporarily.
Dear Master, my mother died unexpectedly 2 months ago. How can I be sure she is at rest? And is there anything I can do to help her on her way to a lighter heaven? Is there any way I can communicate with her now?
Some of our brothers and sisters, when they meditate, they can communicate with their loved ones on so-called the other side. And by the way, the good news is the one who get initiation will benefit his 5, 7 generations, whether he knows them or not. For example, your deceased father, mother will be also uplifted to a higher heaven if they have died through your practice of the light. Because of the bloodline, you will also bless the deceased relatives through your initiation. 5, 7 generations at least will be saved by one person who are enlightened.
Dear Master, what happened when you became enlightened? Did you hear a bell like Muhammad? Did you have a vision? Please tell us.
Yes. That's just the beginning. You can hear the bell, yes. You can hear the angels speak, or you might see Jesus, you might see Buddha, you might see Mohammed, you might see God, you might see all the masters, you might see the light only, you might hear the bell only, you might hear more other things higher than the bell.
Dear Master, how can one express one's divinity?
Only when you know it, then you can express. When you know that you have the divine within you, you enlighten, you contact this divine quality within you, then only then you can express it. We cannot express what we don't know. We cannot express what we don't recognize. Or if we don't recognize, we don't know, that practically we don't have it. So we can't express it, okay? That's how Jesus expressed his holiness, because he became holy himself. Yeah, he became one with the divine.
Master, do angels, spiritual guides, exist? How important are they in our spiritual evolution? Is it easier to communicate with them than with God?
They do exist. First, they exist everywhere. Just that our spiritual eyes are not open, we don't see them. And when we are enlightened, we can see them. Some people are not even deliberately doing any meditation, but they have some previous experience or blessed by other master by chance. They also see angels, see spiritual guide. They will help us to a certain extent, but only God can help us all through. So in the beginning, the angels and the spiritual guides probably just stand by, and help us a little bit in the basic requirements. And later, we will become our own master, and God is our only guide. But the angels are around all the time. No problem. They will be our servers. They will be our helpers.
Dear Master, when you say that our lives are continued from generation to generation, are you talking about reincarnation?
Yes, I do. But when I mentioned before means the key of knowledge passed from one generation to the next.
Dear Master, I try to practice open-mindedness towards other people's weakness, but sometimes struggle and get frustrated with my own compassion. How can I overcome this?
Continue struggle until you get used to it. When we have compassion for other people, we must have it unconditionally, so we don't get frustrated and hurt when they don't return our love. And we can do that the way Jesus did. Practice the kingdom of God, knowing God, and give what God gives from inside. And we don't feel that we'll be drained. Yeah? It's difficult to love all beings with equal love, but you try your best. Love your family members first. Love them with all your heart or your mind, and then practice the presence of God. Then later, you can love mankind as much as you love your family members.
Dear Master, Master Wu of Chu spoke of a great separation.
He spoke of a great separation before which all life on the planet shared consciousness. Do you believe we are approaching a new age of shared consciousness?
Wow, I'm impressed that the Irish people even know Master Wu before Lao Tzu. No, he talks about some metaphor, some things that before the creation sprung into being. Yeah? There was a great separation because God thinks and then it becomes. God wants to divide himself, so we separated from him. So it seemed divided into different individualized forms so that we can feel the separateness from God. And then through this separation, we have to return by the power of longing to go back to the self. And then we will join together in the same consciousness. And that's when we have a shared consciousness, then back to the origin. Yeah? And the thing you talk about is the new golden age, right? For example. It depends on us. If more and more people elevate their consciousness into a higher level, then of course we approach the new golden age. If not, then you know what happens. Yeah? And therefore, many of the teachers and I myself were commanded by God to run around like this and sharing the knowledge of what I know, what he wants me to know, and what he wants you to know, until everyone shared in the real knowledge of God. And then we can approach the golden age, of course. Let's hope it will be so. I guess we are coming to it, yeah? Because a lot of people turn into spirituality now. And a lot of people became vegetarian for not only health reason, but for compassion and religious reason. So the planet is becoming better and better.
European Parliament supports reducing meat to lower greenhouse gases.
Call vote. Vote is now open. Vote is now open.
Reduce your meat consumption or stop eating meat totally.
During discussions on greenhouse gas reduction goals, the Climate Committee of the European Parliament officially recognized livestock's contribution to global warming and recommended a reduction of subsidies to the livestock industry to curb methane.
The European Parliament has adopted its own position on climate change as an institution. And as a Vice President, one of the proposals I have made is in line with your own, which is that we should eat far less meat, because that's one of the major sources of greenhouse gases.
Tout le monde sait bien, si on veut rendre notre planète soutenable, il va falloir réduire notre consommation de viande, ça on le sait bien.
My name is Jens Holm, I'm a member of the European Parliament. Please, be veg, go green, save the planet.
It's just that we have to work harder. I mean, for example, I just don't know how to speak the truth, which I know in my heart. Sometimes I tell God, it is so difficult, God, could you find someone else? Because I don't know how to speak about you. I only know you, I can love you, I can see you, but it's so difficult to talk in language about you. The more I talk, it seems I don't make enough glory about you, and I feel incomplete in my heart. I feel frustrated. Yeah, but that's the way it is. I just have to introduce to people, and then they choose it, and then they decide, and then they enter the kingdom of God. Then they will know it themselves, and that's the best way. Language is not particularly the best vehicle for God's explanation. Everyone who knows God knows this.
Some meditations say to concentrate on the dantian. Some say to focus on the heart. Kuan Yin says to focus on the third eye. I have tried them all. Some friends have warned me that it is dangerous to focus on the third eye. What will you advise me, please?
It is dangerous to focus anywhere without proper guidance, because we have forgotten so much about ourselves that we should learn it from ABC again. Dantian is a Chinese word for the solar plexus, which is around your stomach here, yeah, around the navel, down the navel, lower, yeah. This chakra, this center of the body, is also a center of energy. We have many centers of energy in the body. Just like in a nation, we have different powerhouse which generate electricity to the whole city or the whole country. Yes? In our body, we have many different centers for concentrated spiritual power as well as willpower. We have it under our feet, we have it in our knees, we have it in our sexual organs, we have it at our stomach here, solar plexus, we have it at the heart, we have it at the throat, we have it here, we have it there too. Yes? So the highest gate for us to leave this physical body when we die is the third eye center, the wisdom center. So in order not to confuse and go wrong way around, go downward into a lower level of creation, we should practice going and coming through this gate while living, because God sits there, the wisdom sits there. So I do not want to take up too much of your time by teaching from the feet upward, which you can do. In the old time, people live until 800 or 1,000 years. They can have fun doing all kind of upside down, inside out thing. We don't have time anymore. Our life keeps shortened despite our technology advance. So we make it quick. We must practice where it is important, where is the only way to get in and out of the body for the higher level of love. So that's why I teach you to do it here. But any center at all, you must learn it properly. There are the do's and don'ts to protect yourself. And that's why it takes 1 or 2 hours to sit with you to tell you what you should pay attention to. The enlightenment takes seconds, but the instruction so that you know how to do it yourself at home every day takes an hour or so. Thank you for being so patient and so sincere. And thank you very much for your presence. You bless me very much. Thank you, thank you.
Supreme Master Ching Hai's lectures are not a complete meditation instruction. Please do not try alone. For free of charge guidance, please visit www.godsdirectcontact.org or contact any of our centers near you.
Táimid buach os for láthar, cúnach an episode don lé inniu, Words of Wisdom. Agus inis, Models of Success. Díreach taréis Noteworthy News. Fanigi túnta lever hall le Supreme Master Television, go mani a neve planad le críocht agus cinálta gráfar. We appreciate your charming presence for today's episode of Words of Wisdom. And now, Models of Success is coming up next, right after Noteworthy News. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. May heaven bless our planet with wisdom and loving kindness.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW